So, good day everyone. I will be talking about the fundamental of community immersion. So, let me do a real quick introductions about myself. I am Winston Quezado. So, this presentations is a final requirements of my NSTP 2 51275. So, before we proceed with our discussions, we go deeper with our discussions. Let's have first the objectives. So, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to first understand the process of community immersion. Second, you should be able to understand the protocols in community immersion. And next, we have the title. So, the title for today's um, discussion is about fundamentals of community immersions. When we say fundamental of community immersions, of course, let's define first what is community. So, community is a popular definitions of community is originated as a group of individuals with various traits who are linked by social ties, share common ideas, and of course engage in cooperative actions in specific geographic locations or contexts. So, in short, emerge as a social group of people with diverse characteristics. Next, we have the important elements of the community. So, before we go deeper with the community immersions, let's have first the important elements. So, first we have the demographics. So, demographics needs to know the characteristic of the populations. Why? It tells about why because it tells about the population's movement in the community you'll be serving or I will be serving. Next, second one we have the history. So we need to know the history because events of the past that contributed to the development of the community, it allows us or it allows you to recognize specific patterns of changes and how people respond to these changes, which can be helpful in planning your activities. So third one we have the recognizing the economics, culture and social structures. Why? We need to know the income level of the people. So we have to know the ways of living of people. So I mean the so actually this one and this one is actually connected. Why? Because an income is made of countries or regions economic system like labor, capital, and land resources, as well as the areas manufacturing, production, trading, distribution, and consumption of products and services. And lastly, like I've said, which is connected kay ways of living of the people among Japan and culture, structure of physical and political and social structure. Next, let's define what is community immersion. So, when we say community immersion, is actually a community organizing technique that aim at instilling a greater awareness and comprehension of various community concerns among NSTP trainees through exposure to real life situations, particularly in the poor, depressed, and unprivileged neighborhoods. So, wherein the NSTP or the National Service Training Program, it requires male and female students at private and public higher education institutions and technical vocational school to participate in community immersion. So, kailangan talagang bababae ka man o lalaki, kailangan talagang mag-participate ka sa program ng NSTP, private or public. So, next we have the NSTP trainers are required to launch community-based intervention in the form of project and activities. So this one we have the first strategy is that strategy that goes beyond acquainting. It means strategy that goes beyond acquainting us with community concerns but make possible our participants participations in their solution. Second one, we have the essential strategy. So, it's an essential strategy in community organizing work that entails understanding of the different community concerns, processes, like the dynamics and lifestyle through exposure and engaging different activities. So, lastly but not the least, we have the strategy in molding students. So, this strategy in molding students just so that they may be socially aware and responsible to their communities. So this manner of transformation is bent on training the youth to become civic consciousness and of course defend defense prepared individuals. So dito matutunan din nila ng mga youth o natin how to be how to do a self defense. Kasi life is more on napaka unexpected ang life. May mga pangyayaring hindi natin inaasahan. Next, we have the objectives in the community. So, community, first, we only have two objectives. First, we have community immersion. So, it allows individuals to be able to immerse themselves in this environment. Second one, we have the individuals are placed in unfamiliar places to provide meaningful learning experiences. So, dito matutunan natin na makisama sa mga kapwa natin na ma-experience din natin yung mga real life experiences na makakuha tayo ng aral sa kanila. So, according to Professor Emerita of Psychiatry, so according to the community immersion program, gaining trust with patient needs some comprehension of the social, economic, psychological, and cultural difficulties that patients experiences. So in short, immersion program is one way of teaching students to develop. So according to the Professor Emerita. Next, we have the do's and don'ts in community immersion. So, dapat na talaga natin tandaan kung ano yung mga do's and don'ts. Okay, guys? So, the do's. So, before talaga mag-conduct ng community immersion, dapat, syempre, alam natin na meron talaga tayong mga waiver na galing sa office ng mga sa school natin, di ba? And pasign natin sa parents natin, sa mga consent ng mga guardian natin. So, dito naman sa don'ts, never forget to inform and get the consent of your parents or guardian about the activities lineup. So, during the actual community immersion period, so, kailangan marunong tayong we know how to respect everyone. Makisama tayo, guys. Kasi nga, iba't ibang mga ugaling mga tao. So, we need to be cautious to everyone, act properly and discriminate. Of course, wear proper school uniform and identification card. And keep your valuable things secured. And always document your visit. Always ask permission from concerned people when you have to take photos. And sa don'ts naman, avoid labeling and naming people without politically incorrect terms. And avoid drawing attention to yourself. Be a low profile. Never bring out your valuable things. And of course, never promise and commit to a task that is beyond you and your school's capability. So after the community immersions, validate and evaluate the program and activities conducted. And lastly, submit final documentations outputs of the NSTP office for the records purposes. So, ito yung mga dapat nating tandaan. Like, di ko na binasa lahat kasi napaka-understandable naman siya. Dito, kailangan ng mga waiver, dapat di kalimutan. During sa actual naman, dapat matuto tayong makisama. And sa next, gawa tayo ng documentations sa mga ginagawa natin na during the program of the NSTP training that you've got. And I think that will be all. Thank you for listening. For questions, please approach me on my messenger or direct message me. Thank you for listening again.